Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today's going to be a little bit different. Today we're actually going to be playing a private home game tournament at an undisclosed location here. Going to be pretty fun, a little bit out of my element because one, I don't really play tournaments, and two, I'm not good at home games, so I don't play home games often on the vlog, but it's a different experience. Wanted to try this out, so we're playing a $100 tournament. Some of the money goes to charity, and I think some goes to like food and events and stuff, but I get to record and make a cool video for you guys, so you get to see some table footage. Finally, thank God. I just needed to put some table footage on the channel, so that's why I'm playing here. So we're gonna go inside pretty soon, check out the action, see what's going on in this tournament, and also if I bust early, there's going to be a cash game, I heard. So we're gonna play that cash game. Not really big into tournaments, but the cash game might be fun. Anyways, we're gonna get inside, show you guys what's going on, and we'll get into the action. Here we kick things off in level 1. Blinds are 25, 25, starting stacks of 2,500, and we're playing 7-handed at these tables. So let's go ahead. First hand, ace queen offsuit in the cutoff with 2,500 in our stack. An under the gun player opens it up to 150. Facing a pretty large raise under the gun. This is probably just a flat call a lot of the time, but here in position, pretty decent starting hand. Let's go ahead and bump things up to 450. He is the only person that makes the call. Off to a flop, heads up. Flop comes 8-8-6 rainbow, and he checks to us. I'm going to be c-betting this 100% of the time, so I go with the sizing of 600. And he thinks about it and folds pretty quickly. Ace king of diamonds face up, so we show our hand ace queen offsuit for that loosey goosey bluffy image. Next hand we pick up ace 10 offsuit in level 2. Blinds are 25, 50 with about 2,900 in our stack. In the cutoff I opened it up to 150. We get one caller in the big blind, and let's go to a flop. Flop comes jack 4, 5, 2 diamonds out there, and he checks to us here with an overcard, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, kind of. Let's go ahead and bet 125. He thinks about it and makes the call. Turn comes another jack, which is a jack of diamonds. He checks to us, and here improved basically. I'm going to bet 300, and he thinks about it once again and makes the call. When he thinks about it, I think he's the kind of player that he'd probably just snap call if he did have a jack, so not thinking he has a jack too often. Let's go to river, try to improve, or let's just fire big. River comes the deuce of spades, and he checks to me. It's a brick city kind of river, so I go ahead and bet 500, looking like it's for value. Probably would have liked to just polarize myself and bet pretty big here, but I bet 500. It's a tiny bet. He thinks about it and folds, so another bluff gets through, and we're sitting around 4,200 right now. Still in level 2 with blinds being 25, 50. I'm in the big blind with ace queen of clubs. There are 4 whole limpers to us playing 7-handed, so not going to be playing for that. I raise to a sizing of 250, and we get 3 callers all around. Here out of position in the big blind, let's go ahead and see what happens on the flop. Flop comes queen 10, 3 rainbow, and it checks to me. Top here in this spot, loving it. I'm going to bet 450 for value into the field. Probably could size up bigger, but 450 is fine. Let's get some value. We get 2 customers as the under the gun and small blind make the call. So we're off to a turn. Turn comes the 9 of hearts, brings in a backdoor flush draw. It does complete a few straight draws as well, like king jack and jack 8, which is totally in these people's ranges here. So board a little bit more connected. I'm just gonna go check when action checks to me, just to pot control a little bit. And the player to my left under the gun also checks. The river comes in 8. 4-liner on the board now, not feeling great about it, and the small blind leads out for 500. It is the smallest bet ever, but we're playing so short, we're just going to have to fold here. We're going to have to fold here, see what happens. The under the gun player makes just a flat call. The small blind shows king jack of hearts for a beautiful turn card for him. And under the gun shows pocket 9s for turns set. So, yeah, that's what's going on in these games. So, under the gun player did not bet when action checked to him and he was sitting with the set. That's just what's going on in these games. Next hand, level 2, we pick up jiggities in the small blind. There's a cutoff player who limps and actions onto me. I raise to 200, and only the cutoff player makes the call. We're off to a flop out of position. A flop comes rag, rag, rag. I don't even know what it was, to be honest, but you'll see it on the screen. There's 2 spades out there, so there is a spade draw, and I'm going to be betting 300. She doesn't think too long before making the call, so we're off to a turn, try to fade some spades. Turn comes the Jack of Hearts, brings in a backdoor flush draw. We improve the top set. Awesome turn for us. I'm going to continue betting here, 600. She thinks about it, contemplates it over, and makes the fold, but would have loved to get more value there because these players don't really like to fold, but she folded. Next hand, we're in level 3. Blinds are 50, 100, and we have 4,200 in our stack. Playing 6-handed, and we look down at ace-5 of clubs. I'm not entirely sure what position we are, probably middle position or something like that, but I open up the action to 250 here with a suited wheel ace. We get 2 callers as the cutoff and small blind make the call. Let's go to a flop, which comes 10-6-5 rainbow. We flop bottom pair, and action checks to me. Not going to be c-betting bottom pair too much, so I just check it back, and action checks around. Turn comes the 3 of diamonds, brings in the diamond draw, and small blind leads out for 625. Betting such a large amount in this spot, I think most of the time it seems like he'll be on a draw or trying to charge draws, one or the other, but tons of draws out there, so I'm not going to fold just yet. I make the call for 625. Trying to bluff catch, and the other player folds. So off to a river. River comes a deuce. He checks to me, and here I'm going to have to check it back with just a really weak pair. He shows pocket nines, takes it down, so we lost 600 chips that we didn't need to, but had to bluff catch sometimes. Alright, sitting here right now talking to you guys. We're on dinner break. Yeah, they made steak for everyone, so that's freaking awesome. Looking forward to biting into some of that. You'll probably get a little food dinner montage of what they had cooked up. But right now I'm sitting at around like 3,000. There's a 2K add-on for 20 bucks, so I just got that. So here I'm in the tournament for 1 bullet. $120, sitting around 5K now, so double starting stack, really just starting stack basically. So we're gonna see how it goes. The atmosphere is awesome, people are cool. In terms of the players and the play, very limp happy, limping basically every hand besides premiums, so we're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna have to adjust, and we'll see. If we bust, we'll probably play into the cash game. Cash game seems like it's gonna be a good time, so anyways, we'll get back to you guys with the hands after the dinner break.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I bet it looked crazy.
After the dinner break, onto level 4. Blinds are 100, 200 with 4,700 in our stack after buying an add-on. So let's go to this hand here. We look down at Jack 4 offsuit in the small blinds, 4,400 in our stack. I opened it up to 400 against a really recreational big stack to my left here in the big blind, and he makes the call for 400, so off to a flop. Flop comes Jack 8 for 2 clubs, so we do flop top pair, no kicker obviously, but playing blind versus blind, top pair is pretty good here. So I bet 300, he raises to 1,000 and actions onto me. I think about it, I don't think I can fold here, just a little too strong to fold against this recreational, I wouldn't even call it recreational player, he just doesn't know how to play poker actually. So I can't fold against this player, so I call with top pair. Turn is pretty good for us, the turn comes pretty gin for us, it's a 4, so we improve to 2 pair, top and bottom, brings in a backdoor flush draw. I'm going to check, attempting to check raise jam all of it when he's going to bet, but he doesn't bet. He actually checks it back. Really weird line. The river comes the king of clubs, so the front door flush draw gets there. Not something I'm too worried about, so I bet 2K, and he almost snap calls us, so I show my 2 pair, and he shows pocket queens. So really weird to run into queens in that spot, but lucky we sucked out on him. Next hand, level 5, blinds are 200, 400, and we're sitting with a decent stack of 7,800. I have ace king offsuit in the big blind, and there are 3 limpers to me. 3 limpers to me in the big blind out of position. Let's just try to commit people's stacks in here for now. I'm sitting probably first or second in chips at the table, so let's try to commit people's stack. I go ahead and raise to 3,400 total, just 3,000 on top. Everyone makes the fold, unfortunately, but we're happy to take it down. We're happy to race. Doesn't really matter, but we take it down with ace king. Take it down. At this point in the night, I've been super active, raising a lot and winning a decent amount of pots. This next spot, I have pocket 7s and I open things up to 400, and we get 3-bet from the button to 2400, and it folds to me. 1, we're sitting pretty short, so a pair is pretty good in this spot, and 2, like I said, I've been really active, so I think that I have just a really loose and aggressive image, which is the image that I want to have. So here, pocket 7s, think about it. This is weird because this player actually doesn't raise or 3-bet ever. The only time he's ever raised pre-flop was when he had aces. So it's pretty tough. I mean, he doesn't have too much behind in his stack, so I don't think I want to fold a decent pair right now. So it's really just a jam or a call. I elect to just call and see what happens. Flop comes 4-7. I forget the last card, but it's a good card for us. So we go ahead and check. He jams his whole stack in, and we make the call, and we're off to the run out.
Oh my god. 4 sevens? 4 sevens is great.
The following hand that we'll go over here, I'm not going to talk too much about it. We have ace-6 of clubs, and we open, and we get 1 caller out of position, so we are off to a flop. Flop comes a jack high with 2 clubs out there. He goes ahead and open jams his whole stack in there, a little bit above a pot-sized bet. Not too much to do here. I'm sitting with a pretty big stack. We can afford to gamble, and let's try to knock a player out. So I make the call, and let's see a run out. So unfortunately, this is where the table footage has to end from here. I'm going to take over with the commentary moving forward with my stupid face. Table footage just adds a whole new quality and level of quality to these videos that I really want to continue, but some people had an issue with it at the table. The same people that I've been playing with for the past couple hours in this tournament, so not sure what changed, but unfortunately, you're going to have to see my face. So the next hand we'll go over, we're in level 7, blinds are 500, 1000, and we're playing 5-handed here. I'm on the button with ace-9 offsuit and open it up to 2000. We get 1 caller in the small blind, and we're off to a flop. Flop comes 9-7-5, pretty good flop for us, flopping top once again. I fire a bet of 3000, knowing this player is really loose, likes to call with almost nothing. So he makes the call, and we're off to a turn. Turn comes the 8 of clubs, so 4-liner to the board with any 6. Board is a lot more connected. I lose to a ton of 2-pair combos. When he checks to me, I'm easily just going to be checking it back, playing some pot control here. The river comes the king of clubs. He throws out a nice little bet of 3000, not going anywhere, knowing this player just doesn't really know what he's doing. So I call the 3000, and he shows ace queen of diamonds. Ace high is no good. A pair of 9s will take it down. Next hand, we have digressed later on into this tournament. Level 8, blinds are 1K, 2K, with about 35K in our stack. And there's also 3 tables left, so 21 players remain, and I'm second in chips. So we're obviously sitting pretty short moving on to this level of the tournament here. I look down at pocket 8s in the small blind, playing 6-handed at my table, and the middle position player limps with less than 15K. It folds to me, and here, with a pretty good hand, pretty good pair, I go ahead and decide to just jam it all in. The big blind is really short, and the middle position limper only has about 7 big blinds, so we're just going to jam it in and see what happens. The big blind folds, and the middle position player makes the call. And we show our hands. I have pocket 8s, and he's got king jack offsuit, so off to the races. And flop comes queen high. The turn is no good for him, and the river also no good. So we scoop that one up, eliminate a player, and chip up. Following hand, another level later, blinds are 2K, 4K, and I'm sitting with about 60,000 in our stack. We have 8-7 offsuit in the small blind, and action folds to me. Just going to be limping here. Let's see a flop, and let's play post flop against this player. And the big blind checks. So off to a flop, which comes ace high. It's ace 4-6 rainbow. Not really too connected of a board, and just trying to just get him off this hand. C-bet, hopefully take it down, but does not go according to plan as he makes the call. Let's try to improve on the turn. Turn comes the 5 of clubs. Brings in a backdoor flush draw. Bank City here with the gutter ball, so let's size up. Let's go for value now. I bet 11,000, and he has about 20,000 total in his stack. So we're trying to get him to jam. He thinks about it. He tanks for a while, and ends up making the call here. So let's go to a river, try to fade some clubs or whatever it is. The river is a really good card for us. It's another ace. Any ace is committed here now, and obviously we're just going to be putting stacks in. So I am just going to jam it all in, about 9K total. He folds, saying that he had absolutely nothing. So not really sure what he's calling two streets with, but we take it down. Shout out to Jason from 400, massive chip cock. Here's the final table. Next hand in level 10 now. Blinds are 4K, 8K, and we're playing six-handed. I've got ace king under the gun. I opened it up to 16,000, and it folds to the big blind, who is pretty short with ace jack. So we've got him dominated. Let's try to see a pretty clean run out. The run out is clean for us. We take it down, and we're back to five-handed now. The next hand we'll go over, we have queen 10 offsuit in the small blind, and I open it up to 16K, trying to take the big blind down since blinds are pretty significant, but big blind makes the call, and we're off to a flop. Flop comes 8-7-7, two diamonds out there. Perfect time to down bet, try to take it down, and see what happens. So I go ahead and bet 12K. He covers me and ships it all in. And queen high cannot be calling in this spot, especially blocking basically the cards that I want him to have, like jack 10, stuff like that. So unfortunate that we had to fold there, and we're chipping down to 36K with 8K level blinds. We're in our car now, so that means we are out of the tournament. Let's go over the last hand because it's, I guess, not standard, at least. I wouldn't say it's standard, but we're playing five-handed, and we are in the small blind with 24K. Oh no, we're in the button with 24K, and there's an under the gun blind limp. Blinds are 4K, 8K, so I'm sitting with three bigs. Under the gun blind limps, and I look down at pocket threes. We're gonna rip it in there with 24K. The small blind makes the call, and the under the gun player also makes the call. Off to a flop, which comes queen 9-2, something like that. And the small blind jams his whole stack in, not great. Obviously don't love that, so probably behind. The guy that blind limped, Jason actually, who blind limped, shout out to you, he watches the channel. I didn't expect to meet anyone today that watches the channel, but he does. So huge shout out to you, super nice meeting you. But he folds, and we're up against 9-4 suited. 9-4 suited, and he flops middle pair, and we do not improve on the run out, so we're out in fifth place. Got the bag of $700, so that was super cool. Super fun time. It was cool to record some hands in the beginning of the session, but unfortunately just had to stop. But all I can say was super fun. Huge shout out to Brandon. If you're watching this, I don't know if you are, but thanks for inviting me along. Philip, Ted, Jason, like I said, who watched the channel, Corey, and last but not least, George. I don't know if you guys are ever watching this, but it was super cool meeting you guys. It was cool to capture some sort of a home game style tournament going on, and some of the money I knew that some of the money went to charity, so always cool to kind of help support that, and also, you know, take it down and book my first winning tournament, and book my first cash in a tournament in 2020. I'm gonna count this one in my stats because $700 bucks, $100 tournament, that kind of counts. Anyways, that's the vlog. Thank you guys so much for following along, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Leave a like on this video, I would really appreciate it. Also, give me a quick follow on Instagram. It's Rampage Poker, 2 A's on the second A. I post a bunch of stories on there every time I play, so I kept you guys updated real time while I was playing this. So that's about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next video. Peace.